Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to Rotary Life. It's been many moons since our last installment. To recap, our gaze is now set on another 1985 FB RX-7. Last fall, we dropped the 13B into it and put it away for hibernation. Now we can happily say it, the weather has passed and life may resume. The first thing we need to do is get a key for the car. I bought the car sight unseen, and when I got it, there was only one key for it, and it looked like something out of a Zelda game. Needless to say, it didn't work on any lock in the car. I thought no big deal, I'll get a serial number off the passenger side lock, call a company, and get a key made. So I went outside, removed the door card, discovered the previous owner had actually added sound deadening to the door, which is awesome. With the door card off, I pulled the lock out. Normally, the lock has a number on it that can be interpreted by a locksmith to reveal what kind of key the car needs. The red car had it, but as I pulled the lock out, no number. No worries, maybe when they painted the car, they switched the driver's and passenger's locks. So I removed the driver's door card, took off the lock, and pulled it out. Again, no number. The hatch lock? No dice. I was stuck. No key, and no number to get a key made. While I pondered what to do, I decided to remove the rest of the tape around the hood. If you remember, the last owner wanted to V8 swap the car 5 years ago, and started by taping off the hood to prevent any damage. He then let the tape sit on the car and bake in the Texas sun for 5 years. It was a joy to take off. I used the usual suspects of Tough Stuff, Goo Gone, liquid gel, and Bondo scrapers. If you're a paint person, avert your eyes now. I also received new outer window seals from Atkins Rotary, which were easily installed, and I made a guide on how to do so. That'll be linked down in the description below. Alright, back to the locks. I decided to go all the way and remove the locks from the red car and put them into the blue car. To remove the locks, there's a big metal clip and a small plastic clip holding them in on the doors. The ignition barrel is another story. In order to get them off, there are security screws. I used a Dremel to cut slits in the screws so a flathead could be used to unscrew them. I'll be making a step-by-step guide soon. Now to take the old one out of Violet. At this point, I was ready to cut the bolts, but of course, I had no more good cutting wheels. No worries, I ordered some on Amazon. 4 days later, I got my package, and they sent me a hose. I'm not kidding, they sent me a braided hose instead of Dremel cutting wheels. I don't know what's going on at Amazon, but it ain't good. So I hopped in the CX-5 and broke my quarantine to get more wheels. Of course, I went to the most essential business of all, Harbor Freight. The wheels I found said Chicago and Rotary, so I'm sure that they were perfect. It was odd seeing the new social distancing rules in effect at a store. Getting back to my car, I sanitized my hands and went back home. Upon arriving back at home, I noticed something that has always bothered me. The car has a GSL badge on the back. If you know about the car, it's not a GSL, it's a base model. So I figured now was a good time to take the badge off. Back inside the car, I had a new problem. I couldn't seem to fit the Dremel into the space between the steering column and the dash. I tried a couple of ways, but it didn't really work. So I went under the dash to try to find some more room, and I made a shocking discovery. Snakeskin. The car sat for about 5 years before I bought it, and the car is a Texas car, so I can't say I'm shocked as much as I was just startled. I have no idea how long it's been there, but I'm pretty sure Gerald is now dead. Yes, I named him Gerald the dashboard snake. Moving on, I decided to take the steering wheel off to try to get a better angle on the security screws. It helped a little, but not much. I also removed the actual ignition switch as well. This doesn't solve our issue because every FB has the same one of these. It's the outer keyhole that needs to come off. That's specific to the key. I also received a bunch of questions asking if the key was for the glove box. I hadn't thought of this, so I tried. Not even close. If you'd like to keep a more up-to-date record on what's happening with Violet, follow me on Instagram at FBZach. Don't forget it's spelled with a K. At this point, I was fed up with the security screws, and I knew that I was only going to damage more delicate plastic parts if I kept working on it in such a bad mood. So for now, we're going to have to leave it and come back with a better plan in another episode. However, having the steering wheel off gave me an idea. I want to upgrade the steering wheel, but I like the design of the stock wheel, so I began stripping Rose's wheel to start the refurbishing process. The reason I'm using Rose's wheel is because it has sentimental value to me. It doesn't really matter which wheel I refurbish, so it might as well be one that means something to me. I'm thinking of a suede exterior, but that's not set in stone. I want to go OEM Plus with this car. More on that later in the series. The last thing I wanted to do was clean the car. The dash work had made the driver's area filthy, so I took some time to bag up the bolts and vacuum. When it's running, the car will get a full detail, but this will satisfy for now. Not bad for a 15-year-old vacuum that looks like it's seen a war. I also found this fun thing in the bin behind the driver's seat, as well as some wiring for what looks like an amp or a sub, which explains what I found under the hood. Someone wanted this car to bump. The door cards are also staying off for now to prevent damage from tools, but the stock cards will be going back on eventually. After that, I called it quits for now. What I did do was run the Carfax, and I found out that our Texas car was actually a Washington car until 2001. So that's neat. Overall, I'm happy to be working on the car again. It seems like with every project, 3 more pop up, but that's just part of the Rotary life. For now, all the car's doors lock, and I'm happy with that. I'm also interested in hearing your feedback on this new style of Rotary Life. Previous seasons have been more vlog-like, and I'm curious to see what style you prefer, so let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again in episode 2. Take care.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Luckily, it didn't stick to the car for 5 years, so it was pretty easy to get off. But let's get on with the episode. I realized that summer is closer than I thought, so I've decided to do just what it takes to get the car running, meaning the ignition is going to take a back seat for a while. It's time to start assembling the engine bay. First up is the igniters. The igniters are from an FC and have no natural place in the FB's engine bay. This is a custom bracket I made for Rose and will be using it again in Violet. When I made it, I never painted it, so some surface rust has collected on it. Believe it or not, this bracket actually kind of means a lot to me because this is the first actual bracket I so-called fabricated. It's rough, it's stupid, but it works. So before I install it, I wanted to give it a coat of paint. So off to the top secret Rotary Life workshop located in my backyard. Now for a layer of paint. I also realized that I was painting the bracket on essentially a green screen.
Way too much spin. Alright, now someone start humming the Tokyo song.
Uh-oh, people are staring at us.
How to live in Tokyo.
And now to wait for the paint to dry. Under the hood, I removed the choke on the driver's side strut tower. It comes off with two 10mm bolts and a screw. This is for the 12A and is no longer needed for this car. Now to bolt up the FC igniters. You also should have 4 spark plug wires. The short ones are for the trailing spark plugs, and the long ones are for the leading spark plugs. The leading are on the bottom, and the trailing are on the top. It was at this moment I took a break and gazed up at the sky. Before the end of the day, I wanted to check out the gas tank. After opening the fuel door, I didn't expect good news. I used a Centec inspection camera to take a peek. The story goes about as well as you would think. The gas tank was shot. Luckily, I kept the gas tank from Rose. Time for a refurb. Alright, so to get started on the gas tank, I actually picked up 2 different kinds of wire brushes. So I picked up a brass coating one as well as a steel. So we're going to do some tests to see which one is better. Brass is a little bit of a softer metal, so we have less chance of hurting the actual gas tank itself, but I think this will be a little bit more aggressive. So let's see which one's better. So, which was better? Steel or brass? The real answer is option C, an angle grinder with a big f***ing wire wheel on it. The bottom of the tank was different. It already had undercoating on it, which was hard to remove since when the grinder hit it, it turned soft and gummy. I soon realized the metal under the coating was untouched. The rubber actually did its job, so I began to focus on just the rust spots. Unfortunately, all the stores around me were closed, and I didn't have any undercoating, so I primered over the bare metal to prevent any surface rust from coming back overnight before I actually got some undercoating. The next day, before I even started working, I cut my hand on the edge of the gas tank. Nah, it wasn't that bad. I just wanted to show off the stock footage library I just subscribed to. I just threw some super glue on it and continued working. It was time to apply the protective coating. I do not recommend using this specific kind, and I'll explain why in a minute, but it is the kind that I used. Once applied, the liner stayed sticky. I had this issue the last time I used this product and the stickiness never went away, so again, I do not recommend using this product. To fix the stickiness, I reapplied the primer and kept adding layers of paint until it was no longer tacky. This is the paint that I did use, and I do recommend this. Time to let it dry. The rain kept coming, but it was time to paint the top. Two coats should be good. I then tried to add some clear coat, which was a mistake because it's about 8 years old and began reacting poorly to the paint. Nice. I'll fix that in a minute. Next, I removed the top sending unit. I left this on to make sure I didn't get anything in the tank while painting it. I decided to wash out the tank anyway, as well as remove the now bubbled paint. Now to fix it. After I repainted it, I left the tank open to dry in the sun. I am, of course, an idiot and managed to lose one of the screws for the sending unit. Luckily, I picked up these replacements at Ace. The ones I bought were M4 by 0.7 by 8. I'm also using a new gasket from Atkins Rotary, which will be linked in the description below. Now time for the final assembly. Overall, I'm happy with how the tank turned out. I'm not used to doing restoration projects like this, so given my limited knowledge and resources, I'm happy with the results. The paint could be better, and a sandblaster would have been a big help. But again, I can't complain. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Rotary Life, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Take care. It's been a while since the last episode. I could blame my Miata purchase, my kidney stone, or the global pandemic, but in all honesty, I lost motivation. Here's to say my motivation for Violet is coming back. So without further ado, let's get back into it. The first order of business is to mount the Mega Squirt ECU. This meant the stock 12A ECU had to come out. Before mounting, I wanted to grind down the bracket and paint it to make it look nice and prevent rust. Now that the ECU is in, I decided to clean up my new oil cooler.
My last one was cracked, so shout out to Colton for the new one, as well as Adam for picking it up in Missouri for me. Time to clean it up. This is a Turbo 2 oil cooler from an FC RX-7. A few nights later, Adam stopped by and connected the ECU and mounted the fuse box. This jump-started my motivation again, so thank you to Adam as always. Adam has been competing wheel-to-wheel in Spec Miata recently, so go check out those videos if you're curious about what he's been up to. The biggest thing keeping this car from running is the fuel tank, so the old one had to come out. After a few hours of fighting cobwebs and Texas mud, the tank was free. I'm so excited to be working on the FB again. Finding motivation right now is tough, but I know that if I just put my head down and pluck away, this car will get finished sooner or later. I want to say thank you to everyone who has stuck with me on this journey with the new shell. I can't wait to start this thing up, but until next time, take care, guys.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know. I haven't been working on the RX-7. You know, this whole virus thing, can't really get parts, been trying to quarantine. You know what's up. But I'm going to get to it next month. I promise. I'm going to work on the RX-7. Don't give me that face. I'm going to do it. I promise. I swear. Talk about how he loved us. And then Scott touched his butt. Back when we were just like, yeah, something like 100 GT4 which is absolutely insane. What are you doing here, bud?
Yo, who was that guy?
I don't even know him, man. He's some fool from the old days. Oh, hey man. No, it's not what it looks like. I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. It's not that. No, I just got the Miata just for the summer. It's not going to take up any of my time. I bought it as a daily. It's not going to take anything away from the RX-7, I promise. No, I'm still going to work on the RX-7. I still am. I'm still going to work on it. There's nothing going on between me and the Miata. Just nothing going on. Man, I'm at the spot. Hey man, look, I know, I'm sorry, I've been super busy these last couple months, and you know, we haven't had the best relationship, but I want to fix it. I do. I really do want to fix it. What are you doing? No. 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 No, 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 no! So one August night, me and my friends got a little overhyped and decided, you know what? We're going to put the gas tank into the FB tonight. So that's exactly what we did.
Hey, don't come to the Shamu show if you're not willing to get wet. The Shamu show.
Heyo.
Hey bro, give me props for finding a clean shell. I'll give you props for
Zach, I'm proud of you.
I give
Thank you.
props.
Can you even see me?
Yep.
Wow.
Look at that low light quality. Oof.
Probably not good.
Texas.
Boy, getting tetanus.
This is so
You know, it ain't
artsy.
easy, but it's honest living.
I went out driving one time, like in the snow,
Oh,
and I just got
eyebrows.
some shots. Do you remember this? I got some shots of like the snow plows that I use for like reviews, because like California and people abroad don't understand the winters that we have. So like I got some like B-roll of like salt trucks and stuff, and he's just like talking in the background.
Oh yeah, Zachary! Yeah, you like that? Yeah, Daddy!
Are you stressed?
Yeah, I'm stressed because I don't know what WAP means. I keep
Wop.
seeing it on Twitter, and
Wop. Stay off Twitter then.
I'm not on Twitter much, if I'm honest.
Low foreheads.
Foreheads only. Huge thank you to Adam, of course, for always helping me out and getting the gas tank into the FB before midnight. The next day, I decided the FB needed a little bit of a wash because the underneath of the car was caked in Texas mud, and we just couldn't take it anymore. Every time we worked on something, some mud fell in our eyes, and it was just time for a good solid wash. Next up is the exhaust. The issue with my current exhaust setup is that it's all one piece welded together. We actually had to remove the rear axle of Rose in order to get the exhaust off. So I'm going to chop it up now and we're going to weld some joints. I marked where the pipes were normally sitting, so when we go to weld them and put them back together, they will be angled properly for the FB chassis. Next, I actually came up with a list of everything that needs to get done on Violet. Once the list was made, Adam and I sat down one night and cracked on. The white face gauges absolutely had to go. I absolutely hate white face gauges. I was sad that the car had them, but luckily with Adam's help, Rose's gauges are now in Violet. Rose's ignition is also officially in Violet. As well as we also found more parts of Gerald underneath the dashboard. The last activity for the night was the brake master cylinder. It had actually failed on the blue car, and since we had one from Rose, we decided to throw that in with a little bit of refurbishing of the brake booster itself. A little bit of rust had collected. Although we didn't fully put in the brake booster yet, that will be next episode. It's all painted and ready to go in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I especially hope you guys enjoyed that skit at the beginning. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you disliked it. Was it cringeworthy? Was it funny? Let me know. But again, of course, thank you so much to Adam for helping me get the car closer to my goal, as well as Alex for helping me film that one night, and everyone who was in the skit. I cannot thank you enough. Danny, Sam, Chris, Daniel, Sal, thank you all for helping me with that skit video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Rotary Life, and I can't wait to see what we do next. Take care, guys.